Imagine Europe in late summer 1914, on the brink of disaster. The air is thick with tension, as nations stand poised on the precipice of a conflict that will engulf the continent. Cities are alive with the hum of daily life, yet beneath the surface, an undercurrent of fear and uncertainty looms. The German army is at the gates of Paris. The French government has fled, and the world expects a swift German victory. Headlines scream of impending doom, and the streets buzz with rumors and dread. The fate of nations hangs in the balance, but on the banks of the Marne, fate is about to shift. Here, amidst the rolling fields and quiet riverbanks, a pivotal moment in history is about to unfold. Soldiers dig in, preparing for a confrontation that will test their resolve and alter the course of the war. This isn't just a battle of armies, it's a test of human endurance and the chaos of command. Officers shout orders over the din of battle, while soldiers, weary and mud-stained, push forward through the chaos, driven by duty and survival. The First Battle of the Marne will transform a short, glorious war into a brutal, grinding nightmare. The landscape is scarred by trenches and shell craters, a testament to the ferocity of the conflict. Wounded soldiers are carried away, their sacrifices marking the beginning of a new, grimmer era of warfare. Here, the old world of cavalry charges dies, and the age of trench warfare is born. The thunder of hooves gives way to the relentless grind of trench warfare as soldiers hunker down in the mud, facing a new kind of battle. If Paris falls, France is lost, Britain stands alone, and the balance of world power changes forever. The skyline of Paris, shrouded in smoke, symbolizes the stakes of this monumental struggle. Across the Channel, British soldiers prepare to join the fray, while French civilians watch, their hopes pinned on the outcome. The German Kaiser is already planning his victory parade. Confident in his strategy, he envisions a triumphant march through the streets of Paris, a testament to German might and ambition. But in a single, frantic week, everything will change. Troops move with urgency, boarding trains and rushing to the front lines. Communications buzz with the urgency of battle, as plans are made and remade in the heat of the moment. We'll see grand plans unravel, desperate counterattacks, and ordinary people, soldiers, commanders, even taxi drivers, alter the course of history. In the chaos, heroes emerge, their actions shaping the destiny of nations. The Marne is a reminder. History is forged in crisis by ordinary people facing the unimaginable. Their courage and determination in the face of overwhelming odds leave an indelible mark on the pages of history. This is the story of the week that changed the 20th century. A week where the tides of war shifted and the world was forever altered by the bravery and sacrifice of those who stood on the banks of the Marne. To truly understand the Battle of the Marne, we must first look back and see how Europe, almost blindly, stumbled into the catastrophe of war. The continent, vibrant and bustling in the early 20th century, was a powder keg waiting for a spark. In 1914, Europe is a continent of rival empires, divided by a complex web of alliances. On one side stands the Triple Entente, France, Russia, and Britain, while on the other, the Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, waits in tense opposition. These alliances, forged in the name of security, actually bind nations to each other's fates. These alliances, meant to keep peace, instead create a fragile standoff. Diplomats and leaders gather in ornate rooms, signing treaties and making promises, but beneath the surface, suspicion and rivalry simmer. The spark comes in Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, is assassinated alongside his wife. The world is shocked, and the dominoes begin to fall, one after another. Austria-Hungary moves against Serbia, determined to assert its power, and is backed by Germany. Russia, bound by treaty and Slavic kinship, mobilizes to defend Serbia. In response, Germany declares war on Russia and then on France, setting the great powers on a collision course. Germany's invasion of neutral Belgium, a bold and controversial move, brings Britain into the war. The violation of Belgian neutrality shocks the world and unites public opinion in Britain against Germany. Within days, all of Europe is at war. Millions of young men, cheered by crowds and swept up in patriotic fervor, march off to battle, convinced they'll be home by Christmas. Few realize the scale of the conflict that awaits. No one anticipates the industrial slaughter ahead. The old world of cavalry charges and honor is replaced by trenches, barbed wire, and relentless machine gun fire. The war will become a nightmare beyond imagination. The stage is set for a German invasion of France. German armies sweep through Belgium and northern France, aiming for a swift victory before the Allies can fully mobilize. The world's fate now hangs on the outcome of a single campaign. Every decision, every movement of troops could tip the balance and decide the future of Europe. The alliances that were supposed to prevent war have instead made it inevitable. Each nation, bound by promises and fear, is drawn into the conflict, unable to step back. The lamps, as British Foreign Secretary Sir Edward Grey famously said, are going out all over Europe. People sense that the world they knew is ending, replaced by uncertainty and dread. The opening act begins, Germany's dramatic push toward Paris. The fate of nations and perhaps the world will be decided in the coming days on the fields of France. Germany's war plan is the Schlieffen Plan, a gamble for quick victory. Surrounded by enemies, Germany aims to defeat France in 6 weeks, then turn east to face Russia. The plan: sweep through Belgium and northern France, encircle Paris, and crush the French armies. It's a plan that demands speed, precision, and perfect timing. In August 1914, the German armies surge forward, overwhelming Belgium and pushing deep into France. The advance is relentless, but the plan's flaws soon emerge. German troops march up to 30 miles a day, exhausted and undersupplied. Commanders are far from the front, struggling to control the chaos. The German war machine, so formidable at first, begins to strain under the pressure. The fate of the campaign, and the war, now hangs by a thread. The Schlieffen Plan is working, but only just. The cracks are starting to show. August 1914. The German advance seems unstoppable. The German forces, with their meticulously planned strategies, push forward with relentless determination, sweeping through the countryside with an air of invincibility. French and British forces retreat, exhausted and battered, in what becomes known as the Great Retreat. The Allies, though weary, are not defeated. They regroup, their spirits tested but unbroken, as they fall back to more defensible positions. German troops, too, are pushed to their limits, marching, fighting, and starving. The strain of constant movement and battle takes its toll, yet they press on, driven by the hope of a swift victory. By early September, German guns are within earshot of Paris. The city, a symbol of French resilience, now stands on the brink of capture, its fate seemingly sealed by the advancing German forces. Panic grips the city. The government flees. Civilians escape in droves. The streets of Paris, once bustling with life, now echo with the sounds of hurried departures and the whispers of uncertainty. The Schlieffen Plan appears on the verge of success. This grand strategy, designed to quickly incapacitate France, seems to be unfolding as intended, with German forces advancing rapidly. But then, General von Kluck makes a critical error, turning his army southeast, exposing his right flank. This decision, made in the heat of battle, alters the course of the campaign. This move, made without orders, opens a gap in the German line. The once cohesive German front now shows signs of vulnerability, a chink in the armor that could be exploited. French commanders Joffre and Gallieni spot the opportunity. With keen military insight, they recognize the potential to turn the tide, devising a plan to counter the German advance. The Allies prepare a desperate counterattack. Soldiers, fueled by a renewed sense of purpose, ready themselves for the battle that could change the course of the war. The German advance, so close to victory, is suddenly vulnerable. The momentum shifts, and the once confident German troops now face the possibility of a fierce counteroffensive. The fate of Paris, and the war, hangs in the balance. The city, a beacon of hope and resistance, stands at a crossroads, its future uncertain. The unstoppable tide has finally met resistance. The Allies, with determination etched on their faces, brace for the confrontation that could alter the course of history. The stage is set for the Battle of the Marne. This pivotal clash will determine not just the fate of Paris, but the direction of the entire war, as both sides prepare for a confrontation that will echo through the ages. Early September, France is on the brink, but Joffre is ready to gamble everything. Spotting the exposed German flank, he orders a halt to the retreat and prepares for a counterattack. On September 6th, the French 6th Army strikes von Kluck's right flank along the Orchies River. The Germans are caught off guard, forced to turn and fight westward, creating a dangerous gap in their line. the British Expeditionary Force advances into this gap, threatening to cut off the German First Army. Ferocious, chaotic fighting erupts along a 100-mile front. The fate of the war hangs on this moment. If the Allies can exploit the gap, the German plan collapses. German commanders, overwhelmed and out of touch, struggle to respond. The battle is no longer about grand strategy, but survival. The Marne becomes a desperate struggle for the future of Europe. Amid the chaos, the legend of the taxis of the Marne is born. Parisian taxis rush thousands of soldiers to the front, a small but powerful symbol of national resolve. The sight of these taxis boosts morale and becomes a rallying point for the French. Meanwhile, German command is in disarray. Moltke, far from the front, is paralyzed by anxiety and poor communication. Army commanders act independently. Coordination breaks down. Lieutenant Colonel Hensch, sent to assess the situation, finds panic and confusion. On his authority, he orders a retreat, sealing the fate of the German offensive. The Schlieffen Plan is dead. The German armies begin to fall back. The German retreat shocks both sides. Soldiers who believed victory was within reach are ordered to fall back, their morale shattered. The Allies, exhausted but determined, cautiously advance. The immediate threat to Paris is over. The Germans dig in along the Aisne River, building trenches and machine gun posts. The Allies attack, but are forced to dig in as well. The war of movement ends. Trench warfare begins. The dream of a quick victory is gone, replaced by a brutal stalemate. The Marne marks the birth of the Western Front. The First Battle of the Marne saves France and shatters Germany's hopes for a swift victory. The Western Front is born. Trench warfare, attrition, and years of suffering follow. The Marne ends the old style of war and ushers in the industrial slaughter of the 20th century. It's a story of human error, endurance, and the chaos of command. The battle's outcome is shaped by quick thinking, fatal mistakes, and the will of ordinary people. The Marne is not a miracle, but a testament to resilience and the unpredictability of war. Its legacy endures, a lesson in the dangers of rigid plans and the power of human resolve. Along the quiet Marne, history was changed forever.